Okay, so this is something I really didn't want to touch up on anymore, but too many people are hitting me up about it, and because I already started talking about this earlier this year, I feel like I'm obligated to kind of follow up with this because this is a pretty big deal. Now, in case you missed out on it, pretty much it's been going on all year long. The cast of Dragon Ball and a lot of voice actors and cosplayers came out and said the voice actor of Broly and Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist, Vic Mignogna, that he was doing sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, things of that nature. He was fired from Funimation, and a lawsuit ensued. Throughout the course of it, there's been a lot of evidence showcasing that Vic Mignogna did not do a lot of things he was accused of, and in fact, several things have come out about majority of the people that accused him that it was actually lies, and there was extremes of saying that, you know, he made a sexual joke about a jelly bean and things of that nature, whatever. Again, I really don't want to talk about this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I feel as though this has brought so much negativity to the anime world, regardless of what side or whatever. Obviously, people were wronged, all of that jazz, but it brings so much negative energy, and I seen what it did to the community. I've seen how it split people, and it's continuing to do it, and that's why I'm not really enthusiastic about talking about this at all anymore. But again, I already started talking about it in the beginning of this year, so here we are. So voice recordings were leaked by Nick, the YouTube lawyer that's been I guess behind Vic Mignogna. He's not his actual lawyer, but he's been kind of like, I don't know, I guess his public person, whatnot, just talking about things and kind of rallying up people to side with Vic Mignogna on, you know, things that are going on, you know, the public and whatnot, public perception. And these recordings were from, I want to say, the Dragon Ball Z tapings. So we're talking about like 10 or 15 years ago, to be honest with you, because I want to throw this out there right now for the people that are saying that these recordings, like, and they actually legitimately mean that they ruined their childhood, ruined Dragon Ball Z for them. I think that's way too much of an exaggeration, because yeah, some of these tapes kind of sounds a little bit like, whoa, what the hell, what are y'all doing? This is a little bit disturbing, what's going on? If you don't have the context behind certain things, then yeah, you're gonna look at it very odd or strange. Some of it, there's no context that could save it, certain aspects. So I wanted to break down a couple of them, the ones that I could really remember. I guess let's start off with Cynthia Kranz and her Chi-Chi performance. Now, if I'm not mistaken, because this one basically is her moaning, there's a clip of her moaning and saying,
Go on, yes, yes, right there.
Now, I'm pretty sure that that's from the episode where she's having a nightmare about Gohan and she's sleeping, and she starts actually in the episode yelling, Gohan, Gohan, Gohan. And it seems to be an outtake where she just started joking and messing around. Yeah, it's wrong, it's not funny, it's kind of gross, but it's an outtake. Again, these are tapes from 10 to 15 years ago, so also holding anybody accountable for something they did that long ago, especially in an outtake, yeah, you could say whatever, like, whoa, what the hell, why would you joke about that? That's wrong. But again, it is what it is. It's an outtake. Sometimes in outtakes I say, you know, you curse, you say crazy shit. I probably would never go that far, but it is what it is of, you know, what with that particular tape. Another one is of Sonny Strait, voice of Krillin. He's referring to 18 and he says,
God damn, are you trying to keep that bitch happy? It's impossible.
It's an outtake. It was him being silly with the character. Shouldn't have been doing it on Funimation's time, period. But it was like, whatever. There's a few tapes of Mr. Satan, which, by the way, I'm actually blocked by quite a few of these people. I know I'm blocked by Sean Schemmel, voice of Goku. I want to say I'm blocked by Chris Rager, the voice of Mr. Satan. So there's that. But in that one, he starts talking about showing his genitals. He's like,
not even this gorgeous cock.
They're in character saying all this stuff. And he just keeps talking about his big old insert. Yeah. You get the idea of that one. Not real much context in there because it wasn't even like a mess up. He's just like saying it. Then probably two of the most controversial ones, I guess we'll go with Sean Schemmel first, voice of Goku. One of them is him just straight up
fucking fag. My son's a fag.
Saying some really crazy things about Goten. I want to say it was from the scene of him reuniting with Goten. I could be wrong, but he's talking about Goten's clothing, and I may have like a little audio bite of it around here so you could hear exactly what he's saying, because I'm not going to say it. Basically, he's saying some derogatory remarks using the F word and not saying, you know, using the F word to describe his son's clothing and his son himself. Again, I think he's talking about Goten or Gohan, one or the other. There's no context for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that he messed up or anything, because then there's another sound bite.
Will you guys suck me off until I come all over your faces?
Of him saying that he wants to bust all over people's faces as he's training, and he's talking about, you know, again, there's no context really that you could give for that. Like, what context, where in the scene was it that he was like, ah, yes, again, it's an outtake 10 to 15 years ago, so there is context for that in terms of, hey, it was a while ago, hey, it was just an outtake. But at the end of the day, a lot of this is weird. The weirdest one, where I don't know what's with dude, why he spent this much time on it, especially with official recordings, official voice acting. You know, there's contracts and all sorts of stuff with these people, especially with Chris Sabat, voice of Vegeta. He voiced like 15 characters on Dragon Ball Z. Yamcha, Mr. Popo. He did what seems to be a yaoi fan fiction using all the voices of, again, all the characters he plays: Guru, Kami, Popo, Yamcha, Piccolo. And he does like a yaoi fanfic.
Yeah, more of that.
No!
Bend over further, don't you?
You can't! Let me read your mind. Oh, Jesus Christ! You've been butt-fucking again, haven't you?
Where it's like Popo is nailing Kami, Kami's nailing Popo, Kami starts nailing Yamcha, Piccolo, then they start telepathically talking to Guru. I believe there's also a scene where like Korin also says some crazy stuff like, oh my god, he just got fucked, you know what I mean? Like, really crazy stuff. And I don't know why would anybody spend their time putting that together if you're like, yo, you're these voices, you're with an official company. So really don't know. It's really, I think the thing that bothers everyone the most in particular is the fact that they kind of threw Vic under the bus and said a lot of horrible things about him. But at the same time, you know, there's skeletons in their closet, I guess. And that's one of the things why I feel as though everybody's coming at them. Again, as you can see, I'm not into this anymore. Like, I know when I was talking about it, I was like, oh, you know, I made the music and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy. It's just depressing at this point, because also, take a look for the people that still listen to English dubs. Since all this happened, I don't listen to English dubs anymore. Like, the only English dub I'll ever listen to, probably, again, aside from through passing on Toonami or whatever, if I have it on, which I don't even have cable in my place anymore. You know what I'm saying? We got Netflix, Crunchyroll, all that stuff. I don't really rock with cable anymore. But the only dub that I'll listen to is Yu Yu Hakusho, and that's simply because that series saved my life. So I'm not going to abandon that. But Dragon Ball, ever since I started reviewing Super, I went sub, so that was one of the few staples. And of course, with all this stuff, I definitely don't want to listen to them at all. But then with all this coming out, it's like, it doesn't ruin my childhood. Listening to it is like, there a couple of stupid things that were said, a couple of questionable, like, whoa, what's going on in your head to put this together? Sean Schimmel just being Sean Schimmel from everything I've seen. That's his character to be, you know, a little out of the box, whatever, and that's me putting it nice. Again, I'm blocked by a few of these people on Twitter. I mentioned it a couple of times. Maybe I do care. I was gonna say I don't care, but maybe I do care. I don't freaking know. It's just all around a terrible situation. This is probably at this point going to affect Funimation in a great way, because now the perception is getting smeared of these characters. Toei Animation, the Japanese part, is probably going to step in and stuff like that. So a lot of people, I think one of the most impactful things is, you know, first of all, of course, Vic Mignogna lost his job. Who knows what roles will be available to him in the future, but this is going to impact the English dubbing in the West very greatly. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs from this, possibly. And that's never a good thing, honestly. It wasn't a good thing that Vic lost his job, but I'm not going to also champion other people losing their jobs. It's not right. All around, it's a terrible situation. It's depressing. It's draining. I really don't feel good at all talking about this anymore. I got to keep reiterating that. Mainly doing it because I started this. Everyone's hitting me up. This is, I guess, a big deal. Do I look at Dragon Ball Z differently after listening to these clips? No, because I've differentiated long ago voice actors and performers. Because if we're going to do that and say Dragon Ball Z is ruined, Dragon Ball Z is canceled because of this, then okay, we're going to start canceling Rurouni Kenshin because, you know, the writer got caught with some shit. We're going to have to cancel One Piece because Oda is best friends or very good friends with the author Toriko, and he got caught buying a 16-year-old. So, you know, if we're going to start canceling things like that just because of those things, especially the fact that these are outtakes from 10-15 years ago. Am I making excuses for them? No, but I don't want this to ruin Dragon Ball Z for people. That's the main thing about it. It's like, it doesn't have to ruin your childhood. Doesn't have to be a like, oh my god, I never can listen to Dragon Ball Z again. Differentiate the actors from these characters, and honestly, go sub. Like, I'm kind of, when it comes to English dubs, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I rock with my Crunchyroll. I watch my shit on there. I watch my subtitle. Yu Yu Hakusho will probably be the only dub anime that I will continue to watch in dub whenever I rewatch it. But other than that, I go with subtitle. It's a shame this happened. It's a shame all of this that keeps on going. It feels like just a never-ending vicious cycle. And me personally, I'm trying to live a positive life, and this is just so negative. It's so disgusting of what it's doing to the fandom. It's wrong what happened to Vic Mignogna. Whatever's gonna happen to these people now, they might all lose their jobs. Who knows? This might be the end, honestly speaking. This could be the end of the English cast or the North American cast of Dragon Ball. They might say, screw it, we're gonna start a new anime, get rid of these guys, it's over. So I don't know what impact this is going to have, but I can imagine if anybody, the strict Japanese owners, you know, like Toei, the headmasters of all this, they're not going to take kindly to this, hearing, you know, sexual moans and derogatory, you know, and slurs against, like, you know, the voice of Goku at that, saying derogatory slurs and yaoi fanfics. It's not going to go well, and everybody loses in the end. Just imagine Dragon Ball, the biggest English dubbed anime in North America and around the world, taking a hit like this, what it's going to do to the industry. So let's take a look at that as well. I know I don't want to be the bearer of bad news on other regards, because already people are like exaggerating, like, don't let this ruin Dragon Ball Z for you. And please, anybody saying DBZ is canceled because of this, get out of here. That's ridiculous. It's separate the actors from the actual characters. There's no reason to put the two together. And yeah, watch subtitle. It's a shame. It's wrong. That's really all I got to say about this. I don't want to dwell on this anymore. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, despite all of this drama and negativity, try and have an awesome day.
One day you will see it.